Yo, what's good? You spare in the building. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Kueen Talk. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of this episode. Today's special guest is based out of Wichita, Kansas, Ashlynd Horton. Ashlynd, thank you for joining me today on Kueen Talk.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Ashlynd, if you want to just give the audience a little bit about yourself.
I grew up here. I went to Heights, then I transferred to South, and I graduated there. Went to a couple of JUCOs, made it back to Wichita, and graduated from Wichita State. Now I'm a teacher.
Yeah, and so I met Ashlynd as you were getting your undergrad, um, about to take your test. So you passed the test, obviously, and now you're actually in the position you were working towards, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm actually teaching right now, elementary. I go between two schools.
That's dope. Congratulations on that. I know you was working hard, student teaching.
I was worried.
Hey, but you made it. You made it. How
Yeah.
is that like working with the kids, elementary level? I remember when I first worked with the kids, my first day it was like, are you a boy or are you a girl, like all day. And the kids were like correcting him like, it's a girl, she's a girl. But like I was like, yeah, elementary ain't for me. But what's your experience like with the kids?
That's definitely what I get all the time, especially like with my kindergartners through second grade. It's always, are you a boy or are you a girl? And I'm like, I'm a girl. You call me Miss H. You don't call me Mister. And then you'll have a couple, they get to arguing like, no, that's a boy. No, that's a girl. And I'll be like, I have to tell them I'm a girl. But I get asked constantly. But I just laugh it off because I know they're still like learning and it may not be something that they're used to.
Yeah. And so even like, so you just like, that's how you correct it. It's like, no, I miss it. You don't call me Mr. H, you call me Miss H. Is that your normal go-to of how you correct them?
Yes, and they be like, "Well, you wear boy clothes." I'm like, "Well, I'm a PE teacher. I can't play in jeans. That's not comfortable. These are just sweats. Anybody can wear sweats," and they kind of understand it a little better when I break it down like that.
Yeah, that's an easier way too. Is because like, yeah, I'm a PE teacher. Like, what do you expect me to wear? So yeah, that's a good way to get the kids to really understand and at their level too, um because they're curious minds too. They're gonna say what's on their mind for sure.
They're gonna ask every question they can
Yeah.
until you give
So
them the answer they're looking for.
that's for sure. And so you're out at elementary. You went to Wichita State, right?
Yes,
And how was your experience at Wichita State?
it wasn't too bad. It was it was a struggle once I got to like the kinesiology part and the anatomy,
Hmm.
and after that, I took it during my COVID years. And it was online, so it was more of a struggle to do it that way than in person. But other than that, it was a breeze.
Yeah, you did do it right during COVID too. What you passed the test, so like, what advice do you have for other people that may be going through their student teaching, getting that PE license? Like, what advice would you have for them?
Trust the process. Like it's gonna be ups and it's gonna be downs and it's gonna be something new every day to where you're feeling defeated. Like, oh my goodness, they didn't tell me about this. They didn't let me know about this. But you gotta just trust the process and learn as you go and take everything in.
Yeah, and you were studying for that test hard. Like when I was with you and you were student teaching, like you took your breaks, like you were studying during lunch, like you was in that book.
Yes, I took it twice. The first time I missed it by 1 point. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I remembered some of the questions that was on it. And I'm like, okay, these are the ones that I must have had trouble with. So I went back and studied those and then took it like 2 months later. And then
And
I passed.
passed it. Hey, congratulations on not giving up too. I know that 1 point could be discouraging. Like,
Yeah.
damn.
I was ready to cry. Like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm about to graduate. Like, it's here now, so I got to do it. I had
Yeah.
already accepted the position, but no turning back.
Yeah. What support system did you have during that process?
And my girlfriend, she was definitely my support during the whole time. She was studying with me. Some of the teachers that I was working with was helping me in studying, using my note cards with me,
Hell
giving me
yeah.
tips on how to take it, what to do.
Hell yeah. That's dope. That's dope. That's good that you have a partner that does that for you. Um and speaking of your partner, in your when you filled out the questionnaire, right?
Mhm.
You said I'm gay, but I wouldn't say I'm a part of the community. What do you mean by that?
Like, I don't believe in like the transgender part of it. Like, I definitely understand it, but I don't know. It's just kind of different for me. Like, I'm used to where it's just like the LGBT, and then
Yeah.
now you're adding on extra. It's a little confusing.
Yeah. The T stands for transgender though. The LGBT. But so when you said that you're like, okay, you just don't put yourself in the group because of just you don't foresee yourself like
I don't want
ex-
people to think like, oh, she's a lesbian. She wants to be called he and him. When I don't, I still like identify as a woman, even though I'm dressed how I dress and I am who I am.
got you. So I feel like so I'm trying to understand. So you just feel like you're getting lumped into that group as well. So you're trying to separate yourself from them. Is that
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, still call me she and her, not him and, you know, he.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I feel like when we all identify I like to say queer, I guess, because it's just like the umbrella of it all, instead of like singling each one out, because it just but I get what you're saying of just like you're not trying to be put but you're not I'm like you're still part of the community, you just don't identify as transgender in the community.
Yeah, like, I still want my proper pronouns. I don't want to be called a man, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So and so you identify as a lesbian then, you would say.
Yes.
Yeah. And when did you like start identifying that way? Like has it been like an early age for you or
I came out when I was about 14, going
okay.
into my freshman year.
What did
I
that look
started,
like for you?
it was a little bit different. Like, from seeing how other people came out and like some of the hate they would get, especially like when the boys would come out. But it was a lot different. The friends I had at that time was like very supportive. They didn't treat me no different. They accepted me.
Did you like just tell your friend group? Did you make like a was this like back in MySpace days? Like did you make a Facebook status?
Not to make a Facebook status. I was dressing as a girl all up until that freshman year. And that summertime, I came out and told them like, "Hey, I'm messing with somebody. It's a girl." They kind of was just like, "Okay, like cool." And then
That's how your parents reacted? That's what you told your parents?
no, I told them my friends first,
Oh, okay.
and they were okay with it. Like that ain't nothing. And then I started like wearing sweats more and basketball shorts. And my mama started asking, and I wasn't ready to tell her. So I'm like, nah, nah, nah. And then it was a picture of me kissing somebody, a girl, on MySpace. And my mama's friend called her, like, girl, you won't believe this. And runs it down. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm downstairs. She's upstairs. And I go up there. She's yelling and tripping. I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't even know what you're talking about. She brings up the MySpace, wants me to go pull it up, makes me delete all the pictures, takes my phone. Yeah, I was in trouble for like 2 weeks.
Eh, w- so your mom obviously didn't approve of the message. Um, and
Nah.
what was like she saying during that time? Like when she was saying it, what was like her react? Like of course her actions were taking away the phone, taking having you delete all that stuff. But like, what was she saying? Was she saying like this is bad? Like why are you like what was she saying?
Yeah, like she would tell me like, "Oh, you know, you're going to hell for this," and I'm like, "Okay, like it's my choice. It's I am who I am." And I would say for like the first few months of me coming out, it was rocky between us. But then I guess she realized like I am who I am. Like it's either gonna help us or it's gonna hurt us if we keep arguing back and forth. And we started to grow, and our relationship got a lot better.
And how do you think? Did you ever have like a conversation of how you got to that point? Like later on, like of course that was when you're at 14, but later on, it was there something that made her be like, oh, was there like an aha moment for her?
I'm not sure if it was like an aha moment for her. We never actually sat down and had that conversation. It was kind of like we woke up one day and it was just different. Like we just put it behind us and kept it pushing.
Yeah, so that was at a young age. You said you're 14 when this happened. So that was brave of you to do. Especially just like and you're like close to 30, so like back then like we're that old, but just like it wasn't like you said earlier just when people said it, the reactions that they got, you were brave enough to withstand that. So at a young age, so kudos to you. Um, was your father involved at all, or you just mentioned your mother? So
Nah, my father wasn't never really active, and like when he started coming around, he didn't care either.
yeah,
He
well,
was just more happy to be around me than not to be around me.
yeah. And so did you said you just started dating females at the age of 14. So you just is and you just never looks back. You just always identified as lesbian from that point forward.
From that point forward.
Ah, that's lit. Like I just like man, if I would have came out at 14 cuz I knew at that age cuz
Mhm.
I had a crush, it would be so different. Like I who knows like how it would be, but like did you see other people like you growing up? Like was there other people coming out? Like you went to Wichita, so it was like there are more females that were like, "Yeah, I'm gay too." Like did you have like a little group or was it just really you?
So back then, it was the thing to do was skating. So at the skating rink is how I was introduced to all the other lesbians and everybody else. It wasn't like too many girls that were open at the school I went to, and there it was like almost everybody there was, and it was just our own little group.
That damn
So no,
skating rink.
man, carousel every Saturday.
And the skating rink, I wonder if it's like that like it used to be because that's like that was a good obviously in Wichita it's bigger. So like that skating rink life was probably lit. Um did you do you still connect with like those people that you met since Wichita's pretty small, so do you still have like that circle of friends?
Yeah, like every now and then we'll reach out and speak, or if we see each other in public, we'll speak. But that's pretty much it.
Do you have a lot of people of color queer friends? I know you like earlier like you don't really put yourself into the community that much, but like would you say you have a solid group of friends that identify that way?
Uh, I wouldn't say I have like a solid group of friends that are that way. I would say it's more of like my family members that I hang out with. Like that's about it.
That like in general, or are they part of the community as well?
Yes.
Yeah, well, they need to be on Queen Talk too, you know?
I'll reach out.
Yeah. So your family, they're obviously like accepting then, like, um, with your other family members, like your cousins, your aunts then?
Yeah.
That's good. So, do you feel like it's always been well for them? I know your mom hasn't always been that accepting, but do you feel like otherwise, like your extended family, they've always been accepting? Like you haven't had any encounters, bad
No,
encounters?
no, no. Like my cousins and everybody that I grew up with definitely accepted me right off bat. Like they used to tell me like, "Oh, I knew you were gay. We were just waiting on you to say it." And I'm like, "Well, geez, y'all could have came to me. We could have had that talk then, and it would have been a lot easier." They're like, "Oh, we were just waiting on you. Like that was your moment to say it."
Like in this community, like especially when we come out, there's like a certain way that you have to be. You have to be this macho person. But like as I'm growing up, I feel like I've come to like accept more like feminine traits of mine. I've accepted just
Oh,
different aspects of not fitting in this box. So like how has your route or your journey been with like that topic?
yeah, I can say I've accepted my femininity femininity side more. I've grown to like love that part of me, and I feel like it's helping me grow as a person and accepting everybody else around me that's different than me.
Yeah, and cuz like I just feel like personally me, you growing up, I see this one way of what a stud is supposed to be like. You have to be like this masculine person all the time. Um and if you and I feel like it kind of like ties into like me not wanting to be a man. Like I don't want to be a man. That's not something I'm trying to be. I'm just trying to be me. Um and this is just how I operate. Like I dress like this, it, but I also am feminine in ways too. So I'm not trying to be a man. I'm just me.
Yes, most definitely. It's like you're learning to be more vulnerable and a little bit softer around the edges and not so tough and rah rah
Yeah,
like everybody else expects you to be.
yeah, exactly like that. Exactly. And did you see anybody that any like representation growing up for you? Like, did you have that? See that?
My sister had this friend that she brought around, and she was also lesbian, and I felt like me and her was more relatable because she was in the military, and back then it was still the don't ask, don't tell.
Mm,
So she had to hide herself when she went to work. So I was able to be like, yeah, you look like me, we're the same person, but I don't want to be able to hide who I am for a job or for anything else. I want to be me no matter the situation.
yeah. And do you feel like you've been able to move like that, not hiding
Oh, yeah.
yourself?
Yeah, I feel like I'm very open about it. But I'm not pushing it on nobody per se, you know?
Yeah.
It's just who I am, but it's not changing like what I'm doing.
Right. Right. Uh. So you and your partner, how long have you and your partner been together?
It'll be 5 years in March.
Okay, okay. Have you guys like talked about marriage? Not to put you on the spot, actually. Wait, you talked about marriage? What?
Yeah, we definitely talked about it. It's been in the air lately.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know.
What don't you know? What don't you know?
It's nervous talking, like nerve wracking talking about it. I'm not somebody that like talk about their feelings as much, and marriage is like mushy gushy. You're talking about your feelings,
Yeah.
so it kind of makes me a little queasy a little bit.
Do you get scared? Like, are you like nervous about marriage and just stuff like that too? Or
I'm more nervous of like the whole like the wedding day, like speaking in front of everybody and telling you how I feel. That's the part I'm most nervous about.
yeah, I feel that 1000%. 1000%. You would think like You even put your introverted in here in your thing. I am too. You wouldn't think so, like with this podcast, but like I really am. Unless I get like a one-on-one conversation, like when you and I talk, it becomes like natural and it's easy. Um, that's different, but I'm just not one to just like go out in front and talk to people like that. So, have you guys
No,
have you guys talked about like kids and stuff like that too? Do you guys plan on wanting to get kids and
yeah, we've talked about that, and we were deciding on the process and which route we want to go so that we can have kids. And she just graduated nail school and she's becoming a nail tech, so that plays a part in it too.
yeah. So after doing your extensive research, what do you foresee? Like, where are you leaning more towards? Like IVF. I've talked about this too. I used to want to carry. Um, it's still not out the window. Uh, but I'm just like I don't know. But I've thought like growing up. You asked my friends. I was like, yeah, I'm carrying a baby. Like I want to have a baby. And then I got a
I
dog.
was,
What did you say?
I was the opposite. I did not want to. I used to tell mama all the time, like, I'm not carrying a baby. I don't want any kids. I'm adopting.
And now you feel a different way. Now you're like, okay, I could carry.
Oh no.
Still no.
Still a no.
Still a no. Yeah, I don't like. They say your period is just like like cramps are just a fraction of what like the what's contractions are. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I can barely deal with that level of pain. So to amplify it, and sometimes it be for hours, I can't.
Right?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. So you're pushing towards your partner Carrie, and then that's been the conversation route.
Yeah, that's what we agreed on. She agreed to it. I'm like, okay, that works for me.
That's good. Um, your mom enjoys your partner and stuff too. Like you foresee like your mom has like grown a lot when it comes to that aspect.
Oh yeah, she's grown a lot. She's more accepting now. Like now she'll be like, "Oh, that's Woody and her girlfriend." But back then it used to be like, "Oh, that's Woody and her little friend." So she's grown a lot. They'll sit on the phone and talk, and I'd be like, "Dang, I ain't even talked to my mama today."
But that's good. That's good that she's grown.
It would That would have been detrimental to our relationship if she hadn't. I feel like because I wasn't gonna change, and she wasn't gonna change, so
Yeah,
it was for the best.
for sure. And I feel like it hasn't been you've just this has been you since you're young. So this is like for you, what advice do you have for other people that may be struggling to come out themselves?
Stay true to yourself. You can't let somebody else's opinion of you affect you. Only you control your journey. So just stay true to yourself. When you're ready, you'll come out.
Uh, uh, what's something that's part of your story that maybe we didn't touch on, and you're like, oh, this is what's something nobody knows. Queen Talk exclusive.
Something that nobody knows. Um, I don't know. I feel like I don't really do nothing. I'm a homebody. I
Fat,
have nothing else to do.
fat, fat. And you said you went to a couple JUCOs, play
Yeah.
ball. What JUCOs you go to?
I went to Garden City and then I went to Neosho County.
Okay. And how was that? How was ball life in JUCO?
It was a lot different than I expected it to be. Like JUCO is it's like where everybody goes that sometimes like grades hold them back or they got in trouble at a D1 level. So it's like every man for themselves, but you have to find a way to work within a team because everybody wants the same thing, and not many of us is gonna have that chance. Like their chances are even slimmer to go to the next level. So it was a lot. It taught me how to have tough skin. It was a lot.
Yeah, you want to hear a story that I asked you a question with something that someone doesn't know. Um, this is something that you don't know. Not many people know. So I tried out for JUCO ball my first year going out of high school, and
Mm-hmm.
it's I was going to be a walk on. Right, I'm at the practice. We're practicing, doing good, and we go to the 3-man weave drill. Right, so I go, I hit the layup, I do the number one rule you're not supposed to do, look back to see if you make the layup. I run
Mm-hmm.
into the brick fucking wall of Tanya Elliott. I don't know if you know who that is.
Ooh.
Tanya Elliott is like a 300-pound fucking forward. And I hit her so fucking hard after running around, hit my head. Next thing I know, I'm in my grandma's house upstairs, and I'm just like, I was just at the practice, and now I'm here. I had no idea what the fuck happened.
Oh.
I go to the coach the next day, and I was like, what? I was like, what happened? And he was like, after that happened, you were just like, this isn't for me. This isn't something I want to do. And I guess I just left, but I don't remember driving home. I for sure had a fucking concussion. Like, I literally don't remember anything, but I did try out the following year. I did make the team, but I like I didn't. I just went home that day and was like, all right. And then a year went by, and then I tried out again the next year and made the team. But I was just like, what the fuck? That was
There be some different type of girls. Like we had a girl like that. We called her Big T, and it be sometimes like where we ain't even trying to go to her in the paint. We driving and kicking. Nobody want to take it at her.
yeah. They were bullies. It was like it was just a different level. I thought I was like the rough and duffel like in high school. Like people would be like mad at me for a little pushing and shit. I'm like, these motherfuckers these girls are fucking playing dirty. They're playing dirty down here. And like now that I'm seeing like the WNBA now, where it's like they're talking about how like rough it's been and how it's getting rough. And in my head, I'm like, shit, I remember when I was just playing JUCO, how fucking rough those girls are. I'm sure the WNBA fucking is just as rough, has been just as rough.
It's very competitive, and it gets real aggressive when you get real competitive. And I feel like that just comes with the sport.
Definitely. Definitely. Um,
But
how was your transition after you didn't play ball though? Like after JUCO?
uh, I could say it was hard. That was so after Neosha, I went to Park University in Missouri, and my brother had just passed. So I got there, I wasn't in the right mindset. My GPA was like a 1.3,
Damn.
and I got ineligible. And I'm like, all right, my best bet is probably to go home. I'm no good here. So I left, and that was like 2016. 2018, I decided to go back to WSU to finish my degree, but I still wasn't ready. I just thought I was ready, and I ended up flunking out of WSU. I had to write a whole letter about why it happened and if I could get back in. Thank God they let me in. And By like 2020, I was like, yeah, I need to get everything together. It's about time I graduate. And from that moment, I was on the dean's list. I made sure I had all A's in every class. I was ready to graduate. Like y'all saw that I was prepared and focused.
Damn. Yeah. Congratulations, man. What a story. What a story. Like, I'm glad you shared that because it can't, like, people don't understand like the finish line, how many bumps and holes and trips and turns it takes to get there. Um so for you sharing that, it's not just like, okay, not only did you miss the test by 1 point the first time you took it, but took it again, but like you had a 1.3 GPA at one point, and then just took time for yourself that was much needed, and that was okay. Like, I think it's important for people to know, like, if you need that break, it's okay to just get right. And look at you, you took the break, came back, got the job done.
Yeah, it was hard. You had to like look grief in the face and you actually have to deal with it, you know? And once you're able to do that, you're able to grow and you're able to prosper and finish the goal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry about your passing too. It grief is hard. It's like, but like you said, I think looking it in the face, it's inevitable. Death is going
Hmm.
to happen, and it it's hard to like just be okay with that, of course, um, but you literally can't stop it. So there's no other way you can be. Like, you literally have to keep living.
Exactly. You just have to find a way to live with it
Yeah.
instead of with it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely not avoiding um your feelings too, and just, I think, like I said, you understanding like you needed that time for yourself to take that break is amazing, like, because and the fact that you had to write a letter too, like, you had to fight your way back in there to get accepted.
Man, I thought like I was going to enroll for that spring semester, and the lady's like, "Nope, you can't enroll. You got to go talk to the dean." I got to go talk to who? She gets to breaking it down like this is your GPA. You're ineligible. We can't bring you back. You're on probation. I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna tell my mama. So I had no choice but to do the letter.
Yeah. So you didn't tell your mama. You just waited till after.
Didn't tell her.
Did she know? Did she know about it like at all?
No.
So until
Oh, that knew was my sister.
so this is exclusive Queen Talk shit.
Yeah, this is probably the first time she'll hear it.
Wow, wow. Hey, but you got through it though. You got through it.
Exactly.
Shout out to your sister though, because you got to talk to somebody.
Man, I had to tell somebody. And I felt like my sister was a teacher at the time too. So she kind of understood a little bit better of where I was coming from and to hold on to it, I feel like. So I don't think she ever said anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Good for you, Ashley. Though, like, yeah, you've come through a lot to get where you are, and you're there now, and you're an elementary school PE teacher dealing with them kids. But we got to that because I asked you like the grieving of basketball, um, and so you obviously to drop basketball during that time too. What did you ever like back go play ball? Like, how did you deal with that? And I asked that because after I stopped playing after the JUCO, I stopped watching basketball. I like, I just like completely shut it out of my life just because I was just like, that's just how I dealt with the process of not playing anymore. How was that for you?
I kind of did the same thing. Like, I feel like if I was home more, maybe that wouldn't have happened. And like basketball took me away, so I was obviously always gone. So it was easy for me to just walk away. But once I did it, and after a few months, I grew. Excuse me, like you said, like I didn't watch it. I didn't really pick up a ball. I started watching football more, and that was pretty much it. It was just like not until I started going back for my degree is where I started to pick the ball up again.
Do you play? Is there somewhere where you play now?
Sometimes I'll go to the Y, but I bought my own basketball go,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll pull that out to the street and get some shots up that way. At school, like if I'm on plan and my co-teacher don't have a class and the gym is empty, I'll go in there and I'll shoot around a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I still ain't really like. I mean, when I'm doing PE with the kids, that's when I'll play. Uh, Mostly, as you've seen, like I'll play with the kids, but I don't really play no more. I don't really play anymore at all. I do the softball. You ever play softball? Did you ever get into that?
I'm terrible. Oh, terrible.
That's my. It's more like lax. Like you ain't got to do all that running. It's like you're either hitting or you're just in the field waiting for a potential ball to come to you. So it's more lax. That's what I do these days.
Nah, I gotten more into like tennis, badminton, something a little bit.
Pickleball?
I feel like, oh no, I don't like pickleball.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh,
I don't know. Something about it. I don't know. I don't.
my grandma got me into it. My grandma is a pickleball player and she goes like 3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week. They got a little pickleball group they go. And that's her support group. Shout out to them people because and they're really good. They're good.
Serious. They take it
Yeah.
serious. I seen them at WSU a few times, and I didn't sit and watch them. They get competitive.
Yes.
I'm like, goodness.
Yeah. And the thing is, they know where to place the ball. Like when I'm out there playing with them, I'll be running back, forth. Like, and they just like know where to hit it. That's good though. Like, I'm trying to find hobbies though. Like, I feel like after you become an athlete, and that dies out, like, you're not, you don't play anymore, and that was all your life. Navigating that afterwards was like it's hard to let that go for one. But
Yeah,
then like finding different sports and stuff to like still get into. So now like I like powerlifting now, so that's I do that like lift weights. So it's just like finding different things to still get that.
that's what I'm trying to do is find different things. I've been dibbling dabbling a little bit. I was thinking about like doing boxing 'cause I like their workouts, but I'm like, man, the kids already wear me out. Like this is gonna really wear me out.
I'm glad you I asked that because man, we wouldn't have known all that about you, Ashlyn. Hey, hey, see, you got to
Now
ask them right
I'm already trying.
questions.
I'm usually in my own little box.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on here. I know you're an introvert. You don't yeah, like you knew about Queen Talk before the episodes even came out. Like I told you, hey, I'm doing this podcast. I was long ago. I told you about this and I told you I wanted you to be a part of this. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I just got I just want to ask you just one last question, and as what would you like to leave the audience with today?
Trust the process and stay true to yourself.
Trust the process and stay true to yourself. Which that I understand it now. The process that you had to go through to get to where you are today, you have to trust it. and know like there's better days coming. And if you stay with it, you can make it to the finish line. And congratulations again, Ashlynd. Like you pushed through and you got it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And congratulations to you too.
Thank you.
You killing
I
it.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Love to.
I appreciate that for real. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ashlynd's, and if you got anything from it, is to keep pushing. You're gonna stumble across some things that are some pushbacks, but don't let it stop you. If you need to take a break, okay, but don't let it stop you completely. Get back on course, stay the course, and you can make it happen. So thank you guys again for tuning in to another episode of Kueen Talk. As always, family, friends, strangers, love. Be nice.